Chapter 1. The Arrival. The sound of rattling chains fills the air as Javier steps through the imposing gates of the maximum security prison, his heart pounding with fear and uncertainty. He clutches his tattered diary, a testament to his shattered dreams, as he traverses the cold, unforgiving corridor. Around him, the confused chatter of new inmates blends with the grim echoes of his reality. Javier reflects on the moment that changed his life, a crime born from desperation and survival. In this hostile environment, he feels utterly isolated, grappling with the weight of judgment from both the walls and his fellow inmates. Closing his eyes, he recalls his family's faces, their hopes for a brighter future. As he embraces the dim light of hope within the darkness, Javier vows to remain resilient. The ambient sounds of steel clanging and distant voices serve as a constant reminder of both his surroundings and the battle for redemption that lies ahead. Chapter 2. The Unlikely Brotherhood. Within the cold, gray walls of the prison, a camaraderie blossoms among the inmates, defying the harsh realities of their surroundings. Javier reflects on his growing friendship with Lina, a former artist whose vibrant spirit shines through even the bleakest days. As they share laughter and dreams, Lina recounts her past, a life filled with creativity and passion for painting, now replaced by the shadows of confinement. Meanwhile, Marcus, a seasoned inmate with a wise demeanor, steps in as a mentor, guiding younger inmates through their darkest moments. The sounds of distant laughter blend with the clattering of trays during mealtimes, creating an atmosphere of hope amidst despair. Through conversations filled with vulnerability and shared experiences, the trio forms a chosen family, illustrating the profound connections that transcend their circumstances. These bonds become lifelines, reminding each of them that, even behind bars, humanity persists and flourishes against all odds. Chapter 3. The Time Loop. The days inside the prison meld together, creating a relentless rhythm that defines life behind bars. The soundscape is dominated by the sharp clang of metal doors and the monotone calls of guards during roll calls, echoing through the sterile hallways. Javier, along with other inmates, uses diary entries to reveal their internal battles against the oppressive routine. Each scribbled page reflects the struggle to maintain identity amidst the despair, a poignant reminder of the human spirit's resilience. In this cycle of monotony, listeners hear the quiet acts of defiance, whispers of meditation in a corner, the turning of pages in well-worn books, and the shared moments of kindness as inmates offer support to one another. These small gestures become lifelines, illuminating the shadows of their confinement. Through their voices, we grasp the deep emotional complexities that often remain unheard, creating a tapestry of vulnerability and strength woven through routine. Chapter 4. The Turning Point. The oppressive atmosphere crackles with tension as Javier's diary entries capture the chaotic energy surrounding an impending riot. The auditory landscape is filled with sirens wailing, angry shouts, and the sound of feet pounding against concrete as inmates confront their frustrations. Javier recounts the surge of fear coursing through him, instinctively heightening his senses. Amid the chaos, fleeting moments of bravery emerge. We hear whispers of solidarity among inmates who choose to protect one another, showcasing the fragility of trust in a volatile environment. Simultaneously, we hear from Helen, the prison counselor, whose voice remains calm amidst the turmoil. She reflects on the urgent need for empathy, understanding that every individual behind bars carries a story, a reason for being trapped in this steel cage. Helen's insights on systemic change emphasize the importance of compassion and growth, offering a glimmer of hope in a dark chapter, urging listeners to reconsider all narratives, even those steeped in violence. Chapter 5. Redemption Road. As the sun filters through the barred windows, a glimmer of hope emerges in the hearts of the inmates. Javier discovers a newly introduced vocational skills program designed to equip them with practical skills and therapeutic outlets. The sound of hammers striking wood and brushes sweeping across canvases fills the air, blending with laughter and chatter, transforming the oppressive atmosphere into one of creativity and resilience. Through Javier's diary entries, listeners hear the joy of newfound purpose. Each inmate shares their journey. Lina paints vibrant murals that reflect dreams of freedom, while Marcus teaches others the art of woodworking, creating tangible symbols of their aspirations. Together, they forge a path toward redemption, illustrating the profound impact of second chances. Voices blend, recounting their struggles and triumphs as they reclaim their identities. In this sanctuary of creation, hope blossoms amidst the iron bars, reminding all that change is possible and a brighter future awaits. Chapter 6: Voices from the Past. In this poignant chapter, inmates reflect on their lives before incarceration, sharing vivid memories that shape their identities. The ambient sounds of distant laughter and music interweave with the solemnity of their words, creating a tapestry of nostalgia and regret. Javier recalls carefree days with friends, his youthful aspirations overshadowed by misguided choices. Lena, with a tremor in her voice, paints a picture of her artistic pursuits and the unforgiving streets that led her here. The cacophony of memories is underscored by heart-wrenching realizations, as each inmate grapples with their past decisions. Marcus speaks candidly about moments of vulnerability, emphasizing the choices influenced by desperation. These reflective anecdotes serve as a reminder that each individual behind bars has a story worth telling, echoes of humanity that resonate far beyond the prison walls. As the chapter closes, listeners are left contemplating the profound complexity of redemption and the power of personal history. Chapter 7: The Education Initiative. The chapter opens with the sound of chalk squeaking against a blackboard, setting the stage for the transformative power of education within the prison walls. Inmates participate in various classes, from basic literacy to vocational training, each sound punctuated by the bright laughs and hopeful chatter of fellow learners. Narrated segments feature Javier and Lena discussing their experiences with the educational programs, highlighting newfound passions and dreams for a life beyond incarceration. Javier recalls how learning to code has opened doors to his imagination, while Lena shares her love for art, inspired by her instructors who encourage her creativity. Their voices reveal not only skills gained, but friendships forged in the shared pursuit of knowledge. This chapter encapsulates the idea that education can be a lifeline, offering inmates a chance at redemption and a way to reshape their futures, creating ripples of hope that extend far beyond the prison's steel bars. Chapter 8: Confronting Demons. As the dim lights flicker above, the sounds of chairs scraping against the floor signal the beginning of a group therapy session. Inmates gather in a circle, their voices filled with vulnerability, each sharing personal battles with addiction and mental health. The echoes of past traumas resonate through the room, blending with the ambient sounds of hushed voices and quiet cries of understanding. Javier recounts his struggle with substance abuse, revealing how it intertwined with his decisions and led him here. The soft rustle of tissues being passed around accompanies stories of loss and regret, showcasing the deep connections forged in these shared struggles. Moments of empowerment arise as inmates speak of hope, recovery, and fostering resilience. The session transforms into a powerful reminder of the complexity of their humanity, illustrating that confronting and sharing one's demons is a crucial step towards healing and reclaiming their lives. Chapter 9: Building Bridges. In a sunlit corner of the prison yard, the sound of laughter and animated discussions fills the air as volunteers arrive to connect with the inmates. The atmosphere shifts from confinement to community as the outside world breaks through the prison's imposing walls. Sarah, a volunteer, shares her experiences, emphasizing the profound impact of these interactions on both inmates and visitors. Fragments of conversations reveal inmates sharing their passions, music, poetry, and even culinary skills, with those willing to listen. The ambient sounds of strumming guitars and heartfelt performances create a vibrant tapestry of connection, reminding everyone that creativity flourishes even in the bleakest of places. As the chapter unfolds, we hear reflections from inmates about the importance of support and understanding from the outside world. These interactions embody a renewed hope. They not only bridge the gap between confinement and freedom, but also plant seeds of empathy that flourish long after the volunteers leave. Chapter 10: Women Behind Bars. In this chapter, we focus on the women of the prison, highlighting their unique struggles and resilience. The sound of a soft, melancholic melody plays as we hear Lena's voice intertwine with the memories of her life before incarceration. Dreams interrupted, art left unfinished. She reflects on her role as an artist, using paint and canvas to express her pain and hope within the confines of cold steel. Conversations shift to the challenges faced by mothers like Sophia, who grapples with guilt and longing for her children. Ambient sounds of children's laughter echo faintly, invoking a bittersweet reminder of their absence. As we hear the women supporting each other in group discussions, their laughter and shared stories bring warmth into the stark environment. This chapter serves as a testament to the strength of women in captivity, a profound exploration of motherhood, creativity, and the unbreakable bonds forged by shared experiences behind bars. Chapter 11. The Role of Guards. In the dimly lit corridors of the prison, the perspective of the guards emerges, a vital yet often overlooked aspect of incarceration. Through the voice of Officer Ramirez, listeners hear about the daily routines, the strict protocols, and the complexities of the job. Sound effects of keys jingling, doors slamming, and distant chatter create an atmosphere both tense and relatable. Officer Ramirez shares poignant anecdotes of connection with inmates, moments where the lines between guard and prisoner blur. He speaks of seeing humanity in the faces often labeled as criminals, revealing his commitment to fostering a sense of safety and dignity within these walls. The chapter paints a picture of the guards' struggles with their own emotional burdens and the constant balancing act of enforcement and empathy. As dialogues unfold, it becomes clear the path to understanding and change requires all voices within the prison to be acknowledged, forging bridges where despair once existed. Chapter 12. The Road to Release. As the inmates prepare for their hearings, a sense of anticipation fills the air, mingled with anxiety and hope. Listeners experience the sound of doors creaking open and footsteps echoing in the corridor as inmates gather for their arraignments. Javier's voice emerges, narrating his thoughts on the fragility of freedom and what it means to step back into a world that feels both familiar and foreign. We hear snippets of conversations between inmates sharing their hopes for reintegration and fears of failure. The clink of metal and shuffling papers punctuates their stories as they navigate the bureaucracy that stands between them and freedom. Former inmates also share their journeys, offering heartfelt reflections on the challenges of reestablishing ties with family and society. The chapter culminates in the sounds of cheers and encouragement from friends and families gathered outside, an emotional reminder that every step toward freedom is a collective journey. Chapter 13. Reflections and Regrets. In the dim light of the common area, a palpable silence envelops the inmates as they gather for a reflective session led by Javier. Each voice emerges laden with the weight of past actions and the scars of regret. Sounds of soft whispers mingle with the ambient backdrop, the shuffling of feet, the distant clang of metal bars echoing off the walls. "I wish I could take it all back," one inmate confesses, a tremor in his voice revealing deep remorse. Others share their stories, acknowledging how anger and fear led them astray. The air grows thick with vulnerability as they discuss the much-needed power of forgiveness, both of themselves and others. A therapy group facilitates an environment of honesty and empathy, encouraging inmates to confront their demons. As they speak, a shared understanding blossoms, highlighting the potential for healing. The chapter closes with murmurs of hope, reminding listeners of the transformative journey of redemption that begins with acceptance.